Today is day 16 of our fasting and prayer season. Keep on fasting, keep on praying, keep on seeking God and His Word. You will see the breakthrough that you're looking for. And today's benefit on day 16, and remember, I've been teaching you out of my book, 101 Explosive Benefits of Fasting. You need to get a copy of this book. It will be a blessing to you. Fasting will aptly prepare you for ministry, proving to you the potency of your calling, giving evidences to the world and to the devil of the validity of your commission. Let me say it again. Fasting will aptly prepare you for ministry, proving to you the potency of your calling, giving evidences to the world and the devil of the validity of your commission. When Paul was an old man, he spoke to Timothy, his son in the faith. He uttered these instructions to him, which you must also take to heart. 2 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 5. Paul says to Timothy, "But watch thou in all things, endure afflictions, do the work of an evangelist, make full proof of your ministry." I want you to look at these words. Make, or pay attention to these words. Make full proof of your ministry. In other words, Timothy, your ministry must have evidences. There has to be the outward workings of the inward call. We've got to see on the outside what God has placed on the inside of you. The purpose of evidence is to stop the mouth of the accuser. Too many Christians today have a title but little proof. The titles are big, but the evidences are very small. We must be proof producers in our ministry. Let me say it again. You must be a proof producer in your ministry. See, Jesus had proof. Acts chapter 2, verse 22 says, "Ye men of Israel, hear these words. Jesus of Nazareth, a man approved of God among you by miracles and wonders and signs, which God did by him in the midst of you, as you yourselves also know." So Jesus had proof in his ministry. What about the Apostle Paul? Well, the Apostle Paul had proof in his ministry. Romans 15, verse 18 and verse 19 says, "For I will not dare to speak of any of those things which Christ has not wrought by me, to make the Gentiles obedient by word and deed, through mighty signs and wonders, by the power of the Spirit of God, so that from Jerusalem and round about unto Illyricum I have fully preached the gospel of Christ." Look what he says here. He says we've got mighty signs and wonders by the power of the Spirit of God. So Paul had proof in his ministry. In fact, Acts chapter 19, verse 11 and verse 12, we're told, "And God wrought special miracles by the hands of Paul, so that from his body were brought unto the sick handkerchiefs or aprons, and the diseases departed from them, and the evil spirits went out of them." Peter also had proof. Acts chapter 5, verse 15 and verse 16 says, "Insomuch that they brought forth the sick into the streets and laid them on beds and couches, that at the least the shadow of Peter passing by might overshadow some of them. There came also a multitude out of all the cities run about unto Jerusalem, bringing sick folks and them which were vexed with unclean spirits, and they were healed, everyone." Every one of them were healed. Where are your evidences? Jesus was a man approved of God by miracles, as were Peter, Paul, and others. Now, how do we get this kind of proof and approval? Paul tells the Corinthian saints that one of the ways that to commend or approve ourselves as ministers is through fasting. We see this in 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 4 and verse 5. "But in all things approving ourselves as the ministers of God, in much patience, in afflictions, in necessities, in distresses, in stripes, in imprisonments, in tumults, in labors, in watchings and in fastings, plural, much fasting. So you need proof. You may have eloquence, but you need proof in your ministry. Luke chapter 4, verse 14 says, and Jesus returned in the power of the Spirit into Galilee. Now, even Nehemiah, on his way to rebuilding the broken walls of Jerusalem, did not do so without the aid and the preparation of fasting. The Bible says in Nehemiah chapter 1, verse 4, it came to pass when I heard these words that I sat down and wept and mourned certain days and fasted and prayed before the God of heaven. You see, ministry is about rebuilding the broken walls of people's lives. If Nehemiah fasted to rebuild the broken walls, you and I should imitate him in order to help mend the broken lives of people today. Books will prepare you mentally. Mentorship, being mentored, will prepare you to have an experience. Bible school will prepare you in your knowledge, but fasting prepares you spiritually. There's some depth in God that you will only access when you fast. So today, I want to encourage you on day 16 that fasting will aptly prepare you for ministry, proving to you the potency of your own calling, giving evidences to the world and to the devil of the validity of your commission.